Greetings, YouTube. I can be really naive when it comes to fraud in this game. When it comes to ways that people break the terms of service. I remember years ago, there was a beta server that some people figured out that they could actually get free items and resources and units. And Kabam calculated that some of these people got like 50 grand worth of resources on their main account before the loophole was closed. That led to the threat of temporary and permanent bans, and that is understandable. Now, the detractors will say, well, Kabam didn't close the loophole, so we're just exploiting something that is Kabam's fault. And while that might be a popular take on a forum post, legally it holds no weight. This is Kabam's sandbox. We are just playing in it. If they decide tonight that the servers are going to shut down forever, we can't get our money back, we can't get our roster back. This is all just coding. We would wave goodbye and have videos as historic evidence that the game existed for a long time, but that's it. It would just be a relic of the past, which is ironic since we, of course, now have relics in the game. I haven't done too much yet in this Gladiators Gauntlet solo event, you know? I am planning on doing crazy things like rejoining Alliance War just because the points and the rewards are so great, particularly for Ascension in terms of taking that 6-star Hercules and ascending it. And of course, Ascension is also going to change how we purchase so many things, including more offers in, say, Cyber Weekend, which will be the next whale holiday. But some of you have alt accounts. Some of you have approached this this new special event in ways that I never, ever, ever would have dreamt of, in ways that I don't even know the specifics of, and kind of in some ways want to remain ignorant of. And that has led me to essentially read a forum post. My man Brian Shadow Strike, as always, thank you for keeping me updated. That is pretty glaring. And it reads, to prevent exploitation will prevent new accounts from being able to gift enlistment crystals. We will also be taking action on those who use third-party sellers, bots, and other farms to gift themselves mass amounts of enlistment crystals. Lastly, we will be adding an expiration timer to enlistment crystals. All unopened enlistment crystals will expire in far more than a month, October 7th or 18th, excuse me. But you can see this post. Summoners, in order to curb some exploitative behavior that we have discovered, we are adding a restriction to the enlistment gifting event. Only accounts started before 21:00 UTC 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time today will be able to claim the gifting badge and gift their friends and alliance mates with enlistment crystals. Apparently, people were making new accounts like Wednesday and then gifting those accounts. Now, this is something that happened for a long time, and Kabam finally did something about it, but there was so much fraud that happened during the gifting events of yesteryear that people have probably kept those habits, and I have never made a second account, never plan on doing so, but some people do that for fun, when they're bored, or when they're just trying to maybe give themselves a new challenge. Additionally, we are aware of and are investigating players that are employing third-party services, including bots and farms, to purchase gifts for themselves. This is not acceptable behavior, and we will be taking action against accounts we find doing this, including both the sender and the receivers. And I think that's important because sometimes people say, hey, I didn't know it was fraud. I was just accepting a gift. But in the end, you know. Yeah, I think you just know. This could include any actions we deem necessary, including temporary or permanent suspensions. Permanent suspensions for fraud? We're at it again. This is not something I ever expect to talk about, and yet for years, it's been something we have to talk about because it is the nature of this kind of event. Well, this event, as is, may not have occurred before. Gifting events are not new to the contest, and we have been explicit with how we handle these situations in the past. And then lastly, like I said before, please note that we will add an expiration time where these crystals, enlistment crystals, will expire on October 18th at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, so don't hoard them. Or at least don't hoard them for very long. I guess you could hoard them and then, open them before October 18th. This is not surprising. This is not new. And yet, we'll see what happens. Some of the people who maybe did exploit this are whales. And there is a two-tiered system for punishment that we have seen, including some whales who get punished, permanent bans, then it's moved to temporary bans, and some of those whales even get a welcome back gift to try to get into the good graces of Kabam before the next whale holiday. And that's not some fake news theory. That is a confirmed paper trail fact I covered a few months back on this channel. This is tough, but I'm personally thinking if people are going to especially use the third-party services and bots and farms and you get it, permanent ban. I don't care if they're the highest of whales or the lowest of guppies. That's the only way that this stops. Until you do that, you're not making anything but a slap on the wrist be more than an incentive to keep doing that behavior when stuff like this happens. So, that is my take on this. Didn't think I'd have to talk about this today, but here we are.